Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. One down, one to go. I am seriously riding my luck. Seriously riding my luck. City Villa match over. I moved from. I just had two players going out, I guess, against potentially a lot of people fully optimized. 6 players. And collected nothing. So we're just sitting inside the top 50k, which is a miracle in itself. And I thought, okay, the fall begins here. As I said, if you remember at the beginning of this game week before it started, I thought I was going to be lucky if I was in the in 200, 250k. You know, considering just the 5 doublers. Seriously riding my luck. Goal scores for City. Hardly owned by anyone. The assist for City, not owned by anyone. People may have had Martinez in there for as a double on the bench boost. Points gone, points lost. De Bruyne, nothing. Would have seriously done me some damage. In fact, I had fallen outside the top 50k with just a couple of minutes to go. De Bruyne was on bonus, and was it got the gold? Silver and Nunes, was it? Who got the gold? Yeah, Bernardo Silva and Matthias Nunes with that winner. Lovely play by Doku, I have to say, for that. It took more points, I guess, off the likes of Martinez or anyone that had in their six doublers, Villa defence, knocked what's his face out of the bonus. We knocked De Bruyne out of the bonus, and suddenly I was back inside the top 50k again. Absolutely ludicrous. But I think what I have to say now is, with tomorrow coming, and I have my 3 Palace, who interestingly I'm on. I'll talk about it in a second. Points I'm on and where I think I'm going to end up. But tomorrow, luck can't continue. So I think the only thing I can say is there anything to be said for another mess? I'll explain where that comes from one day. The Irish contingent amongst you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Very, very famous episode of Father Ted. I think it was called Speed, wasn't it, with Pat Mustard, when Father Dougal was on a milk float. It had to be take over from the monkman because he died, and someone called Pat Mustard had rigged the milk float to go off if it went under 4 miles per hour. It's called Speed, and there was like a desperate situation, and all the priests were gathered. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And someone said, "Is there anything to be said for another mass?" And it already said about 10. Hey, what's the episode? It'll all make sense to you. The Irish contingent know what I'm talking about. Anyway, okay. What I want to do, I want to talk. Right, let's have a little look at the game week. I guess where it is at the moment, and where it's likely to end up. As I say, just madness that I've risen about 40,000 places, given what I'm playing through. But I guess the spreadsheet does do its thing to a degree. It's helped me get away with it. But yeah, I'm not discounting the luck I've had with the players that have blanked. It's been crazy. 77 points. My prediction was I'd be on 80. I've got 3 Crystal Palace players to go tomorrow. Mateta, Henderson, and Munoz. And I'd say that's exactly where I'm going to end up, is about 80 if I'm lucky. If Munoz stays on for his 2, and I can get 1 point out of the other, because they could get actually walloped tomorrow. They could get absolutely walloped. And my only hope is that Saka blanks, and maybe there's I don't know if someone could just get a goal, just knock out the double Arsenal clean sheet. Just seriously, yeah, as I said. Yeah, I've parked myself there in my priest costume right on the end, and he'll protect me. Father Des will protect me. So that's basically how we're looking. And as I say, it is literally in the lap of the gods tomorrow. Hopefully, though, if I stay in the top 100k, that is a huge huge result, given where I thought it was likely to be. So, fingers crossed. I think that's all we can do. I'll hide I'll hide behind the sofa tomorrow while that game's on. Let's have a look, though. It really is time now to get serious about blank game week 34, because that is another one I've got to try and fight my way through, the chipless Des. To try and fight my way through that, and fingers crossed come out with still intact and in touch. And given the way this has gone, who knows? It's so unpredictable. But this is how we look. Is if I was to do absolutely nothing, but we will be doing something. So fairly clear there where the problems are. I've got a Sa now yellow flagged on that beautiful fixture, which I'd actually popped him on my bench. Nice cheap goalkeeper weeks ago when I did my wildcard game week 28, I think it was. And he was supposed to be, just to come in for this game and maybe one or two further down the line. But that was where I had him. Yeah, little 4.3 million, lovely, just sit there, and this will bring me in as a cover. And of course, he's yellow flagged. Don't know how serious that is. Don't want to do a goalkeeper replacement, because that would be a hit, and I don't like taking. Well, I'm trying to avoid taking hits anyways. I've sort of meant this. I'm not going to take any hits for the rest of the season. May have my hand forced there, because clearly now I need to bring in to have 11. I'd obviously need Sad to be fit. I have a planned replacement for Gabriel anyways. It's just about who do I bring in. And it is time for Mateta to move on. He's blanking, the form's not great, and there's just some other really good options out there. And I'm not keen on having the Crystal Palace triple up anyways at the moment. So if I was to do nothing, that's how we'd be lining up. So what do we do? Here's the question. I've had a few interesting conversations after I did the free hit chasing rank free hit video yesterday. A couple of ideas came out of that, I have to say. One from one of my new subscribers in Ireland. I think I might be copying you. We'll have a look at this. We'll try and explain this jigsaw. Get in there. There you go. That's clear for you all. So I'm just going to have to work off another PC as well, because that is tiny on this screen, but I'll put it on a larger screen here. He said hopefully, yeah, there it is. So if I was to do absolutely nothing and play through, and I have thought about it, I honestly have thought about it, and have three free transfers going into 35. When we will know the doublers and the blanks, etc., for that 3637 spot. It looks like my prediction would be sort of around the 51 points mark, because obviously taking out any points for Mateta and any points for Gabriel there, so it's quite low at 51, excluding captaincy. So it's actually not that terribly bad if I did get a captain's return out of whichever direction we go. Whether that would be, I think it's going to be Isaac or Salah. Let's be honest about it. But I've definitely decided I'm going to do the 2 and potentially 3 transfers. I'm actually not just going to ignore what that potential double could be to a degree. I'm seeing that these doubles don't always play out the way we want them to, and just sort of play what's in front of me, and then we'll have obviously the cup results after 34, and we'll get a clearer picture on that. And I think with the spread of players in my team anyways, it's going to fall out. I'm going to have some doublers in there, and I'll have some, and then I'll still have a transfer or 2 then to hopefully just optimize a wee bit in 3-7. But I think given I'm going to be up against the free hitters, got away so far, and the chip list has somehow not gone anywhere near as badly as he thought it would do so far. But I think we'll look to do the transfers and bring in some of the players that are showing a bit of form and they've got good fixtures in front of them. The question is who. It's more the question of who. As I always say, I like to find players, showing some reasonable consistency in their form. With at least 2, ideally 3 returns in their last 5, and with decent fixtures in front of them that will slot in like a jigsaw, for want of better words, into into my greens above, so I can actually see more of those greens developing and nice runs of green fixtures coming up. Now, and obviously always trying to achieve that 70 average, which, since game week 9, where I've really corrected a lot of the mistakes I've made, I have actually been achieving over a 70-point average. So I want to keep that continuing, and indeed try and get above it, if at all possible. So let's address. I'm hoping I don't have to make a goalkeeper transfer. Really don't want to make a goalkeeper transfer, because that would be the hit. And is there anyone there really worth it? I had to think about Pickford, and it's just this little thing. I think with that. It's not the greatest fixture away to Chelsea, but I do like that Ipswich and that Southampton fixture. And as you can see, if Sa was, say, back to fitness, that would jigsaw beautifully in there into, an Ipswich Wolves goalkeeper in place for those 3 fixtures in a row. But having looked at the numbers again, I was sort of thinking I would be keen to bring in an Everton asset. And the reasons for that is why I would like to look at an Everton asset is just because the magnitude of those last couple of fixtures at the last games to be played at Goodison Park. But their numbers are not great, to be honest with the defence. I thought their defensive numbers would be better when I looked at them, but they're not. They're pretty piss poor, to be honest. But Pickford does make saves. Everton do get on these roads of keeping clean sheets, but I think I didn't really. Some of the things that just passed me by because I wasn't really looking that closely at Everton. The Tarkowski thing out, and Keane at the centre of that defence doesn't seem to be going so well. They're conceding some goals now. But Ipswich at home and Southampton at home. Jigsaw's in there nicely for a lovely run of three greens. Yeah, it is a little bit of a temptation. Sells Forest as well. I thought, okay, let's look at a Sells or something like that, because Forest have got something to play for. And the other thing as well is who are the teams that have still got something to play for, something to fight for, and are not sitting on the beach. And Forest most certainly have. But again, their defensive numbers are not that fantastic, are they? Milenkovic has been doing really well for me. I've obviously got him. Do I really want to double up on that Forest defence? Nothing from either of them in the last 3 game weeks. There are some decent fixtures in there. Brentford's not a great one away though. You'd always fancy Brentford will get a goal. Palace away, maybe. Leicester home. West Ham away, maybe Chelsea away. They're not fantastic fixtures, really. They're not awful for an outfield player. For like Wood, I'd consider Wood for them because you'd fancy that because none of those defenses are particularly good. But all those teams actually do have decent attacking players. It's not a great defensive one. So, thanks to my new subscriber yesterday from Claire in Ireland, I spent beautiful when I was last back in Ireland. I spent a fantastic time. I always visit the Cliffs of Moher. Oh, I always had Clare. So when I was back for 4 or 5 months last year, I spent quite a bit of time in Clare. Beautiful county. The weather's shite, but great advice. Great advice. I had not even considered Allison, I have to say. So the last 5 games, he's obviously got the best average at 5.2. He's obviously only come back from injury. He had that little short injury. But 8-6, 3-3-6, 5.2 average. Decent home fixture to Tottenham. Got decent rotation there with Henderson for some slightly better fixtures, or I could keep saying Sa actually jigsaws in there pretty well as well, with some reasonable fixtures. What I like about that is obviously he's got the averages. I'm up against Arsenal doublers. And I think Liverpool's defence is just as strong, so it gives me something as a differential to the Arsenal doublers. If I do another transfer, well, yeah, I've got Kanate in there, and I like that Tottenham fixture, and I like the Palace fixture. The others, not so much. And one would worry, I guess, if Liverpool do wrap up the league, could there be some rotation there? Could the Irish lad? Name's gone out of my head. It's been done well for them when he's come in, get a game or two. But I think for the last game of the season, I think they'll be looking to put on a show. Palace at home. I think they'll go full strength and obviously want to celebrate winning the league, which they obviously are going to do at this stage. If I had to make a goal, if I get some news and Sa is definitely out, I think I would go Alisson. I think I will go Alisson. Um, Hopefully Sa's okay. I don't want to take a hit on a goalkeeper transfer. But if I have to, I do want to go out with 11 for this game. And I think Alisson will be the man. All right, then we move into the Gabriel replacement. And we have 3 choices I've put in there. Kirkes averaging 4, returned in 4 of his last 5. That's pretty solid. Man United at home. United are awful, toothless, absolutely toothless attack. And again, an absolutely superb fixture on the last day of the season. So you can see where I'm going with this. I'm trying to catch a wet sail in that last game week, particularly with really good home fixtures. So Kirkes absolutely is a consideration. Then we got Trent. Trent. As I said at the very beginning of the season, very first video I ever did, I said he would be the top scoring defender in Fantasy Premier League. He has had his various injuries and sometimes not the greatest of form, but yet there he is at number 1. It's an attacking threat. Spurs, dodgy defence. That home fixture again. Can I actually go there? Yeah, good. No, I couldn't go there anyways. I'd have, yeah, well, that actually takes something out of the equation because then I'd have, if I did go Alisson, I've already got Konate, I've got Salah, so something would have to give. I'd have to give up on the Alisson one. I'm actually ruling out Trent. I'm actually already ruling him out just because of that fact, because I do think I am going to go Alisson. If I don't have to do a goalkeeper transfer, I probably will go Trent for the same reasons I gave on Alisson. So hopefully Sa's okay. But yeah, I just think Trent's a really good punt this week. If you free hitters, I really would go there. I do think he'll start ahead of Bradley. I could be wrong. But I think he'll certainly get his 60 minutes because this is supposed to be Liverpool's big day. And I think they'll want the players out there that have obviously been the mainstay for the season and their strongest team, and to do it in style. And I think Trent will probably come after 60 minutes, hopefully with a clean sheet and hopefully with an attacking return. So Trent coming in would absolutely be contingent on that Sa is definitely out, or I get some news before deadline, or I hear something in the pressers. If I don't go Trent, then I'm absolutely going to go Aït-Nouri. And numbers are really solid there. 6.2 average over the last 5. Leicester at home. Ipswich at home, away in 36, and a pretty decent fixture, I think, against Brentford, though I do rate, but I don't rate them defensively in the last home match of the season. I think I'd absolutely go there. Totally fits the model. I know we've all probably been stung at some point by Aït-Nouri at some point in the season, but when he gets in a roll, it's like having another attacker in your team. And for some of those fixtures against the weaker teams, there really is genuine potential, I think. So at the moment, I would say the favourite to come in for Gabriel is Aït-Nouri. Pretty close between himself and Trent. And going for Trent, I think, has more of a risk, I guess, on that potential rotation risk. But I don't think he's going to get rotated, certainly for the next one or for the last one of the season. And that's what I really would, create that nice sea green in those last fixtures or two. Cunha, I'm so tempted. As I look for the Mateta replacement, but I just do worry. I mean, the talk now is he's going to Man United, which, quite frankly, both excites and terrifies me. I mean, it's going to be like having another bloody Cantona, isn't it? Who's he going to kung fu kick? But he's a talented lad. He really is. He really is a talented player. And sometimes you've got to take the rough with the smooth with these guys. But my concern around Cunha is he's definitely going. Is he leaving for about 60 million? It's a buyout clause. They're not going to get any more money. They're not going to get any less. That's what they're getting. Strand Larsen's been doing very, very well. Do they now focus on the lads that are going to be with them next season? Is he a minute's risk? Tricky, tricky. Could work out so well, particularly Leicester at home. And the ball could come off his arse and go in the goal. And he's going to get the bonus points. He'll get the bonus points even if he gets no returns. He's just so involved and intrinsic in everything that they do, with creative passing, set pieces, etc. So he just racks up those points. As I said, he just got that assist against United, but came away with all the bonus points. I don't know. I don't know. It just feels risky on a number of levels. I mean, he could lose the head again. No. Evan Nielsen. Again, United at home and Leicester away in this game week, 34. And Leicester, and as I mentioned, he's the sort of player that just could do a huge amount of damage. You'll note I've got no midfielders in this for my own team, unlike the video I did yesterday. Just the midfielders are just not on my radar at the moment. The issues I've got to solve are really, at the moment, defence and attack. Otherwise, there would be, Cliverts and things like that would be in there. And maybe they might come onto my radar later, but just not in this short term for this next fixture or two. And also looking out to 38. It's very much about the defence and the attack at the moment, where you can clearly see that's where my issues lie. So Evan Nielsen, very, very, very tempting. He's averaging 5.4. It's not that bad. Man United home, Leicester home, Arsenal away, City away, not great. But Villa home might not be too bad, embroiled in FA Cup shenanigans. Could be some rotations there, depending on how they're doing in terms of that Champions League place, which is obviously going to be very, very key to them. But certainly United home, Leicester away looks good. Doesn't fill in too much green in those 36, sort of 37 areas though. Who my favourite is at the moment, I think that's Wizard or Wood. I think Wizard he has been immense. His partnership with Mbeumo is amazing. 852, 911, an average of 7. That's a sea of green fixtures there. Forest away, not the greatest one to bring him in, as I'll obviously be going up against free hitters that are going to have, strikers at home to Leicester, Southampton, whatever. But Man United home, Ipswich away, Fulham home, Wolves away. Boy's flying. He's absolutely flying. So I would say he fits my model the best. Doesn't give me maybe massive upside, but Forest defence has not been overly fantastic recently, has it? As is shown here. Wood is certainly a temptation. Again, nice fixture against Leicester there in 36, and he could be a potential doubler as well. I guess that is the other thing. I think Brentford are a long shot doubler, but I'm just not going to focus so much on that double now. I'm going to end up with some sort of mix of doublers and single game week players. I'm just not going to think about that too much. This is proven by just this week. I mean, so many people out there put so much effort into this double game week. Now, it still might come right. You might get your 3 Arsenal lads, coming with a clean sheet, Saka Halls, fantastic, and you're suddenly on 100 points. That could easily happen. As I had with my triple Newcastle attack there a couple of weeks ago, and they came in with some ridiculous haul between them. Could absolutely happen. And that's where I'm certainly not patting myself on the back too much yet until we've got those final results. But for my model, for the one that has the best average, the most consistency, the green sea of fixtures, it'll slot beautifully in there, and take over from Mateta with a sea of nice fixtures. Lad in form, he gets 2 or 3 chances every game. His positional sense is brilliant. Fantastic partnership with Mbeumo. I think that's likely where I'm going to go. So if you took my likely ones, now I'm going to leave the goalkeeper out for now, but if I take Wiz's averages at 7, and even just transferring his numbers up there, it's going to bump up. It's going to bump up, that 58, 57, 44, 48, and 50s, because I've got term attached as a blank. That's going to, put, plus 8, 5, 2, 9, 11 on those. That looks great. And then if I did go with 8 Nuri and put his 2, 6, 2, 14 5s there, instead of Gabriel's blank, yeah, puts everything up well over the 60, excluding captaincy. Good fixtures, jigsaw beautifully into my team. That's likely where I'm going, and fingers crossed I don't have to take a hit for Sad. That all makes sense? Made sense to me. Yeah, I think that's it. That's kind of where it's at. Just a sort of a quick update. So yeah, it's still somehow by the skin of my teeth hanging in that top 50k. When I thought at this stage of this game week I'd be down at about 150 with the Arsenal boys coming in to kill me. It still could all go horribly badly tomorrow, but hopefully, Father Des will say another mass, and we'll get a 1-0 Palace win with Munoz sticking it in the back of the net, and Sarr and Eze, just picking up, both getting booked and coming in with 1 point each. I live in hope. I live in hope. That's it on this one. Any thoughts? Hey, if I've left anyone out, they say, "Oh, Des, you should be looking at this." Please tell me, because I'm always open to suggestions. But I think that's the way I'm going to go. I think that's the way I'm going to go, unless one of you geniuses out there. And as I say, thank you to my new subscriber yesterday for the Allison. That's actually given me a good option if I find out Sar's definitely out. But yeah, any of your own thoughts? Very, 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 very welcome. Bless you all. See you soon. Bye bye.